Hi and welcome to this week's video. I'm not quite sure what we're going to get up to. There's probably going to be something with controls, definitely something to do with the fuselage, and a little bit to do with how the wings are going to be mounted. And we'll see how we get on. So come on, let's get cracking. So the front spar plywood gussets have been fitted, not the rear ones. This will allow me to put it into place, bond it easily and clamp it, and then I can put the rear ones in afterwards. Just make life a lot easier when the fuselage is upside down on the table. So that's cut to size. I need to start working out for the rear spar member how that's going to be, and I also need to work out where the wings are going to go. So let's see what I can get up with this this fuselage side setups. But that for a minute is done. Okay, setting up the wing, the lower wing instance bit, going from the instructions. It says from the firewall measure back 25.5 inches, so let's get that marked up here. .25.5, probably need a square. And we go down from the top launcher on 18.25 inches. So with our 25.5, we go down our 18.25 inches. That gives me a mark, and then we go back, measure back to a point of 68 inches. So let's go. Let's see. .68 inches, and we want to measure down 19.25. So that is, if I had a long enough rule, that would be the cord line, so I'll just draw that one on in a sec. So with the instance drawn on to the table, I'm just going to go up and mark where it sort of crosses over the 2 points there. This is the outer face, so if I go the wing rib, I only need to get this roughly, because the instance, I'm going to do this roughly because the instance of the wing will change slightly. But let's have a look. We'd have the spar of the wing marked on here already where the cord line is. So if I just sort of sight that up roughly into place like that, that gives us an idea of where the wing will actually go onto the side of the fuselage. This will allow me to work out where the rear spar goes against that line there, We've got the main spar is into this section here. I can draw in, if I can make sure that was all square, I could draw in exactly where the wing rib would go, something along that line there, along there, and along like that. Now when I put if I match that on both fuselage sides, this area here will be critical and set to start off with the hole which I'll put into the front spar carry through and peg it with the on its tanks on the lower wing. I will then adjust this instance to make sure that it's at the correct angle and put that onto the rear spar carry through, drill through and mount, and I'll match both sides so they're identical. This is just to give the initial where we're about. So once I've worked out how high it is on the one side, I'll mark up on the other side and have everything matched. So just the initial work through. I'll mark it up on both fuselage sides to start off with, but it's not got to be super accurate. The bit that's going to have to be super accurate is the distance from this spar carry through to that spar carry through when that spar carry through is bonded into place. Right, my next issue though is that the rear spar carry through needs to be at 90 degrees and there's an angle just there, so I need to get that angle sorted out, and the bottom rear face is going to be level with the bottom of the longeron. There will be a slight gap here, but, you know, and I'll use a thickened resin when it comes to bonding this to the bottom ply section. I can stick that onto there. I've got the lower longeron position set up there, so I just need to eyeball this along the top there. So there we have the angle cut, slope, square notch there for both ends, and if I put that onto here so it's parallel with the rule, or move it back so it's actually on top of that that square, you can see that it's got a good joint. It's flush here at the bottom, at the back, slight gap at the front there, well, angle when the ply base goes onto it, but that actually sits with a good joint all round at the end there. So I'm just marking up the centre line for the fuselage. So I'm using thin, what we call telltale wire locking wire nail, going through a little slot I've notched in here, going right the way to the other end. Where going through a notch, and here it's weighted down. That's 40 pounds of weight there, so we've got a little bit of tension on there. So now I've got that mark there, or that I can now mark the centre line with a fine pencil, which makes it just a little bit more accurate than using a chalk line. You can use a chalk line, but I find it tends to be, you know, sort of 2.5 mil wide, where like this I can just go along and make sure I've got a real fine line. So now I've got that line drawn all the way down the length that I need for the fuselage. I'm just going to mark where the stations should be and the width. Now on the plan it shows the width at station 3, 4 and 5 as being 24.25 inches, but when you read the instructions for the aircraft, they say put the side skins onto the wood frames, bond those on first, and then jig it up on the table. So the supply skins for up to that area there is 1/8 of an inch thick. 2 times 1/8 would be 1/4, so I'm just going to set mine up for 24 inches because I'm going to put the side skins on later. So using the dimensions on here and subtracting 1/4 of an inch to allow for the ply sides, I've done the width measurements here for station 1, 2, 4 and 5, 3 and 5. I haven't done 4. That's going to be equal across here. You can see it's all the same. And then station 7, and I've marked the tail post. I'll mark the width for that going by my rudder posts shortly. And so now I can start putting some blocks on the table. Okay, so I've just dry fitted the fuselage sides into the jig here at the base and checking out the top end. And the thing which has proven to me the amount of effort it takes to put the bend in, just trying to keep these two sides here clamped together at station 4 or at the right width, using two bungees. They are tight and it's still spread out actually on the main spar area as well, showing that this bend here at the front end is, puts a lot of force involved there. So if you have the ply skin on the outside of that as per the instructions, you would be really struggling. So I've set the gap across here the same as it is at the bottom, just to get the everything sort of set up. I'm just going to use this bevel gauge. It says hopefully a little bit of juggling like that. I can just tweak that. Now I've got the angle there, which is what I'll need. Just double check, just tighten that, I'll just double check it. So that is the angle which will go across here when this is off, will give me a straight edge going right the way across the front here to the other side. Yeah, so with everything set up at the back end here, I've just got this one out of the way. With this vertical, which is quite hard, I need to take out a little bit of wood along that back edge there, and it's going to come all the way up. So what I'm doing, just hold this vertical. I've got, that is where the centre line is here, and I'll look at where it's intersecting on the other side, which is about there. Now when I take this off, I can draw a parallel line all the way up here and a parallel line there. I can do the same on that side because it will be identical, although I'll confirm that. And then these two can, when I join the two fuselage sides, they'll actually be bonded all the way down there. Okay, we're sort of back at the point where we're sort of dry fitting again, just to double check. So that square, got that mark, that's the master corner up there. So it's going parallel down there, coming across here nicely. There's a slight difference there, but that's with a piece of wood which we've got supplied. Got a nice fit going across here, across this piece. The main spar carry through, it's looking nice. I've got this rule here with this clamps just to make sure I've got the right width there. I've used a square up on the inside, well, sort of going across, down and along the bottom there. At this station with appropriate packers to allow for the gusset piece being fitted. Here it was a little bit more awkward. I had to use a different square because it can't go all the way to the top up there because of the beef up section which I've got, so I can only go sort of from there down. But again, I used a packer about there going across to make sure that was good. These sections now are all chamfered across, ready so that they go square. Not doing that yet. And then I've been just checking out, you can sort of see how much joint there is there now here at the back end, so that should be a nice glue joint. Okay, so I've bonded up station 2, station 3, the main spar carry through is in place. Station 4, the bulkhead seat back all clamped up, everything's held square. If we look at this this square here, it's all the way up nice and square. And then the rear spar carry through is just clamped. That's just to make sure everything was held in its correct alignment at this station. But we've got the station 5 cross member in place there. Well, there's the firewall in place. I've checked that it's everything's square. I'm going up here and it's great. I've checked the angle of the firewall and I've got the down thrust there. You'll note that there's a 1/8 of an inch sticking up there. That's for the base, so that this firewall goes covers the base plywood section, and it's sticking out on each side by just over 1/8, because this thing's just over 18 inches wide. Some clamping going on there. That's just holding the that cross piece back against the plywood, and then to make sure everything's held forward, I've got a clamp going across there, pushing on a piece of 3/4 just to make sure everything's nice and flat going across. Everything else is clamped around the edges, as you can see. Right, okay, so that's it for this week. I've got to clean up the edges here. We've got a little bit of resin onto the Douglas fir, but that's going to be roughed up anyway for the bonding for the plywood sides and things, so nothing particularly angst there. Some of the areas inside just need to have that last little bit of tidy up to get rid of some of the little bits of excess resin. I've got the seat base glued in here. This would normally be bonded into that corner there, so it's the same height, but it's against the bulkhead there, so that just helps to stiffen up the bulkhead. Remember, this bulkhead here, ply bulkhead, would be on the front in accordance with the plan, so let's just move back that little bit. For the seat area, the front of the seat here, this is going to have to be built slightly when I get a chance to sit in the fuselage and make airplane noises. I'll work out exactly how the seat level goes, but this vertical section here and there are where the seat rails will be. This bar carry through is just sort of sitting there, but pretty much everything from station 5 forwards has been bonded. Just got gussets to put in here at station 4 and 5. Thanks for watching, and hopefully join me again next week and see where we get up to. Bye now. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please hit the thumbs up. You can subscribe or even hit the little bell notification for future videos. Any comments would be appreciated, and I'll try to get back to you as soon as I can. Remember, go fly and feel the sky.